wrist tape job, okay? Real nice and low. This is just gonna be our anchor, all right? And I just put pre-wrap because I'm being really nice. You totally don't have to. Now, wherever this thumb is gonna get taped is gonna be where he needs it to play, right? If he's not an athlete that uses his thumb a whole lot, then I'm just gonna put him in a neutral position, shake hands. You're gonna leave your thumb right there and not move it, okay? I like to tape with the thumb up. Taping like this seems really hard for me on a thumb, okay? So I'm gonna tape him thumb up in neutral. Now, what would be a situation where he's gonna need his thumb? Throw out a couple sports where he's gonna need his thumb in a different position.
Rugby.
Okay, where's he gonna need it in rugby?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. So we're not gonna tape a thumb? What are we gonna do? He just needs it in more locations than that? Like he needs a catch?
He needs to catch, he needs to be able to pass. Grab the
Okay,
ball.
so we're gonna have to modify a tape job for that maybe. Or he's just gonna get used to it, right? I'm thinking things where we're having to grip, maybe like a stick, hockey, lacrosse, gripping handlebars, BMX, right? Baseball, okay, need it to be in their glove a certain way, right? I have been known to tape over gloves, not baseball gloves, not mitts, but like lacrosse gloves, hockey gloves, things like that, okay, especially fingers. You just buddy tape a glove, and then every time they play, they just slip right into their buddy tape, right, for their fingers. So something to think about there. But depending on, so you could place them any certain way. If he was a hockey player or a lacrosse player, I'd say grab your stick, and then without moving your thumb, remove your stick. And that's right where we would tape him, so that he's not fighting the tape every time he's gripping. Right? Does that make sense? Okay. Same thing like with linemen when they like to have their thumbs in, right? So like we can tape them in, and we can go over that in a minute as well. So now we're going to do what's just called a spica, okay? And I like to, you know me, always start from a little bit of a different angle. I like to lay it here in the web space of the thumb and then wrap up and around because I feel like I get my angles better. Yeah? So I'm just going to do a couple of these. I'm going to fan them out so that they're not all over the exact same spot. That was a pretty long tail. Well, I don't need to go quite that long every time. There's a little bit of a gap here, and that's okay. I want that instead of them all being stacked right over the top of each other. What's something I should probably check here pretty soon? Circulation. Good. So now I know that I'm not pulling on this because I've been doing this for 20 years. As soon as you pull on a thumb tape job, it'll get too tight every single time, I promise you. Okay? So the thumb tape job, just put it where it needs to be and then lay the tape in there. You should be okay, but I'm still going to check capillary refill, and he's looking good. Okay? Then after that, I'm going to grab a full thing of tape just so I don't waste the rest of that little chimney, that little half piece. But now I'm just going to go around. Thank you for chasing that. Yeah. Now I'm just going to go around and seal in all those edges. Okay? And I did angle that down a little bit just to cover that little hole. Okay? So if you turn over your thumb tape job for your midterm, that's what it needs to look like. All right? Another thing that you can do for thumbs, who has another thumb I can borrow? Is you can skip all this nonsense up here if you want to, especially if they just need a little bit of support. My soccer players get these a lot. And just go straight to the spicas, right? And you don't need to go up through the wrist. You can't do this on your midterm, but in practical sense, okay, that's an option. Just a skinnier version of the tape job, right? Another option, especially with linemen, this is kind of a funny one, or a fun one, is what I call the thumb ring. So, if he's a lineman, doesn't want to get his thumbs pressed back, right? Sometimes this isn't even enough. So we're going to make a little mitt on him. We're going to do a thumb ring. So I'm going to separate it just a little bit so it's not super weird. Okay? But then we would do something like that. You can even go like this if you want. Keep all that in there nice and tight. Can you pull that thumb away from your finger now? No, no way in hell. Then, so I just wasted all that. Try not to do that, okay? Then we can come in and cover all this if we want to so that that doesn't get caught, right? But this is going to turn into a pretty big, this is not going to be pretty, just heads up. But we would cover all of this so that that doesn't get caught and yanked off and deglove his finger, right? But that's a nice way to keep it locked in, especially if you're trying to like protect like a UCL ligament on a lineman, UCL on the medial side of the thumb. Yeah, that right there, that's not going to go anywhere. Okay, so that's some fun modifications or variations of the thumb tape job. Why don't you guys start practicing